Hello, welcome to Thor Talk, the show all about Marvel's resident god of thunder. On this episode of Thor Talk, Thanos and Thor team up against Death's ex-boyfriend, a death god from another galaxy. Plus, they'll have Captain Marvel by their side as they stand against a being powered by billions upon billions of souls on Thor Talk.
I am Thor the Thunderer, son of Odin, prince of Asgard, and this world is under my protection.
Captain Marvel Volume 4, Issues 17 and 18 were written by Peter David and were published in May and June of 2001. This Captain Marvel series follows Genis-Vell, the son of Mar-Vell, the original Captain Marvel. Genis-Vell was molecularly bonded with the human Rick Jones, and with the Negabands, Jones could trade places with Captain Marvel when needed. The story begins with Thor searching for a place ravaged by time. He was almost certain that this is where the most popular tavern in the region once stood, where he celebrated victories with noble warriors and their leader Eric. Or was it Olaf? Olaf Eriksson? Or Eric Olafsson? Aesir above. Perhaps the first sign of an immortal becoming feeble-minded is an inability to remember that which once meant so much to him. No, that would be the second sign. The first sign is when he starts talking to himself. Thanos! Thor hurls Mjolnir at the Titan, but Thanos strips it of its momentum and it falls to the ground. Thor calls the hammer back to his hand, but Thanos says he only wants to talk. Thor would rather fight the genocidal Titan, but Thanos in turn mocks Thor for being simple and having no sense of planning or complexity. And you call yourself a god? Later, Rick Jones and his wife Marlo find themselves being pursued by a pale man clothed in black. But as they run from the man, they run into Thanos. As the man in black approaches them from behind, it seems they are truly doomed, as Thanos and his strange new ally have them cornered. But it seems that the two are not allies at all. Ah, Thanos. At last. Where is she, Thanos? Beyond your reach, Walker. Thanos tells Rick and Marlo to hit the ground as he attacks Walker with a beam of energy, but Walker is unharmed. Her location. Speak it. Never. Then scream it. Never! As Thanos buckles under Walker's unimaginable might, Rick Jones transforms into Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel unleashes stellar energy onto both Thanos and Walker, but it does absolutely nothing to either of them. Thanos calls Captain Marvel to his side, and together they unleash all the energy they can muster on Walker. But Walker wades through their attack, and is surprised that Thanos would choose someone so weak to be his ally. Then again, it should not be surprising. Who, after all, would trust you? To whom could you truly turn, particularly when it comes to defending a pathetic world such as this? Since thou dost inquire. 'Tis Thor, Lord of Thunder, who shall provide thee with an answer. Little immortal, I am a true death god. What hope have you? Thou makest the same error as others, jade-eyed one. Allow me to correct thy mistake. All the power of the storm from all the world flows through my veins, and can be summoned by mine hammer at any time, wherever it is. A lightning storm in Japan? Mine. A hurricane off the coast of Barbados? Mine again. A brace of tornadoes in Kansas? Aye, mine. All that might, all that destructive force, mine to command, channeled and guided through the mystic might of this hammer, guided right at thee! Now! And he called himself a god. Knowing that Walker will be back, Thanos transports Captain Marvel, Thor, and Marlo to his ship, where he explains who Walker is. Walker is a god of death, but not just any death god. Whereas on Earth there are several gods of death, like Hela, Hades, and Anubis, Walker is the only death god over an entire galaxy. Walker grew very powerful, and Mistress Death was so impressed by him that the two became lovers. Walker sought to give her a gift to show his love, so he killed every being in his galaxy and took their souls into himself to give to her. But Mistress Death was repulsed by what he had done and turned him away. Angered, Walker then sought to destroy Death, so Thanos convinced her to go into hiding while he dealt with Walker. So Mistress Death went into hiding by residing in Rick's wife, Marlo. Marlo and the others have little time to react to this news as Walker returns. Mistress Death is vulnerable as long as she resides in a human host, and Walker's colossal bone ship dwarfs Thanos' own ship, but Thanos has planned for this eventuality. Thanos has Captain Marvel combine his science-based powers with Thor's mystical powers to take them to a place beyond death, Purgatory. None can be killed in Purgatory, so Marlo and Mistress Death will be safe until they can deal with Walker. Unfortunately, Walker follows them there with ease. Thor, Thanos, and Captain Marvel attempt to drive him back, but Walker recovers and easily traps his attackers. Walker releases Captain Marvel to begin torturing him, but Captain Marvel uses this opening to attack Walker. Walker easily overpowers him and uses his Negabands to transform him back into Rick Jones. Before Rick can summon Captain Marvel, Walker severs his arm. But as the Death God stands triumphant over his adversaries, the souls of Purgatory stand against him.
For Odin, for Asgard, and most of all, for the Odin son.
Friends of yours? Eric? Eric Olafsson? But despite the fury of those warriors, Walker overpowers them, and they begin to turn to ash. Eric!
Didst thou ever forget me, Thunder God?
Nay, ne'er did I forget thee.
Then I am truly immortal, for an immortal knows me forever.
Walker! No more destruction shalt thou cause. This ends here. And now! But once again, the being powered by billions upon billions of souls overpowers them. And now, he turns his attention back to Rick Jones. Walker uses his staff to slowly age Rick Jones, making his body withered and causing him extreme pain. But Walker has gone too far. Mistress Death did not wish to take Walker's life prematurely, but he has pushed her too far. She will not kill him. No. Instead, she releases the billions upon billions of souls inside of him, and this will cause Walker to experience an eternity of torment. The god who slaughtered an entire galaxy is reduced to a living corpse. Death wins yet again. Well, that was another interesting team-up between Thor and Thanos. And unlike the team-up I covered earlier, where the two seem to have a mutual respect for one another, in this team-up they really seem to hate each other. Thor is ever willing to fight Thanos, and Thanos mocks the Thunder God at every chance he gets. However, Thanos still respected Thor enough to seek out his help first when the life of his beloved Mistress Death was on the line. So he may not like Thor, but he still respects his might to some degree. Well, that's all for this episode of Thor Talk. If you want to keep up with and support Thor Talk, simply subscribe. Once again, I'd like to formally state that all art and video is owned by its respective companies, and I own none of it. With that said, see you next time on Thor Talk, where...
You'll be holding